venomous snake, and it's trying to, like an angry river is splashing, water splashing is there. In the same manner, that vessel is producing so much thrill, the blood passing through it, that the tissue around it is vibrating, and that vibration gives you this color. You see, this is called color Brui. The moment I see color Brui, I will immediately come to know there's very severe stenosis. And before putting the spectrum on, I already make my diagnosis that there is something very high velocities. It must be, so I will set my pulse repetition frequency before turning on the spectrum. We'll come to that point, that when we see that color Brui, we are expecting 400-500 centimeter per second. So on setup for 80 centimeter per second setup of the machine, you can't make anything, you can't measure it. You have to set your spectrum in such a manner that you could quantify that. What happens pulse Doppler finding? There is peak systolic velocity, elevated loss of diastolic flow, Brui and TARDIS powers flow. I'll come to those points. Dr. Fahd is also sitting there, she'll be also talking about the arterial Doppler, but I'm just talking about the basic principles. So turbulence flow, spectral broadening, very high velocities, that turbulence flow will be showing. You see here, the color Brui can be seen, the tissue is vibrating, and the mosaic pattern. So if you 50% 69% stenosis, spectral broadening, very high velocity, more high velocity, the narrower is the vessel, the more squeezing is there, and jet goes up, and you get high velocities. The same manner. So what happens to the pre-stenotic segment at the stenosis and post-stenotic segment? What happens to those? So in pre-stenotic segment, velocity will be very low. Then a stenosis very high. Then while stenosis is after post-stenotic, there is dampened post-stenotic turbulent flow, and you see little bit of these spikes here. And after some time, the vessel regains, the next vessel regains its velocity. But you see the rising time? No, the peak is not like this. The peak is going slowly upward, and that is called TARDIS powers. Because when after a stenosis, the speed is not that rapidly going up. That is the basis of diagnosis. Some people say that once certain center, even started in England or other countries, where the cost of scanning the whole leg, from aorta to periphery, was very time consuming. They started a screening program. They just want to know how many people they have peripheral vascular disease. What do they perform? Place your probe at the ankle. Place your probe at the ankle on the posterior tibial artery, and if you see over there that pattern, this pattern, that reflects there is some stenosis in the proximal part. If there is normal triphasic waveform over there at the ankle, the exam finished. That's the screening procedure. If there is that TARDIS powers, slow upgoing wave, spectral broadening, there's no triphasic waveform, then they start performing from aorta to the dorsalis pedis, otherwise they won't. So that was a screening program once it's conducted in European countries. I don't know whether it's still on or not. So how to optimize your image? We have talked a lot about all these things, that how to play with the keys, knobs, and to get a very good, nice, crisp image. How to deal with turbulent flow, a vessel behaving like an angry snake. How to manage that vessel, so get this nice, crisp image. So we have these points, cursor, sample volume, lot of things. I will touch all these things. First of all, the cursor. This is the cursor. How much it should be opened? We mentioned that 1/3 of the size of the vessel it should be open, not it should be touching the wall so that we should get the best velocities. And secondly, what should be the angle? We discussed the angle should be less than 60. If it's more than 60, lot of error. 90, nothing will be seen there. So you have to place this cursor line for the angle and this cursor gate, that how many velocities should be captured, and angle, just to get a good spectrum. Otherwise you won't be able to get that spectrum. That's for the linear probe. If you have a curvilinear probe, then with the trackball, you see here, this line, the angle line, should be along the line of the flow. If this angle line is not lying along the line of the flow, and this angle, this is the angle between this is the line of the flow, and this is the line between that cursor line. Ultrasound beam is coming from here, and this is the angle. This is definitely less than 40, less than 50, I would say.